It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You tune into your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, right here on SABC3. Now, when it comes to escaping the hustle and bustle of everyday life, one of the best ways to break free is to simply hit the road and go for a drive. Now, South Africa boasts some of the most beautiful and most scenically beautiful roads at that in the world, and this is what led Tryvge Roberts to document all of them online. He's the founder of the online platform Mountain Passes South Africa, and today he's going to share some of his absolute favorite roads that showcase our country's natural beauty. Tryvge, thank you very much for joining us. Lovely to have you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I love the fact that we're talking about this shying away from all the normal into the wild critters and bugs and things that we focus on. Mountain passes, absolutely beautiful. We have some absolute gems in South Africa as well. But first and foremost, what led you to want to showcase this and put it on an online platform?
Okay, it started almost by accident, but I'm by nature a writer. And I tend to write about the things that I do, and those usually get published online or in magazines and so on. And the idea occurred to me one day on holiday that it would be a pretty cool idea to actually drive and film some of these mountain passes and write about them. So I started an email group, and it grew very, very quickly. And that turned into a blog and ultimately a website. And it was originally going to be Mountain Passes of the Cape, and then I had to add in some of the KZN passes, and then there were nice ones in the Northern Cape and the Eastern Cape, and it just grew and grew and grew, and finally I pegged it at South Africa, and not Southern Africa, because obviously there are other nice passes in Lesotho as well, but. We're now on our 5th generation website, really a great piece of work that we've done now. We have 750 documented and filmed passes.
Wow.
And we've still got about 150 to go, so the work is still not complete. And of course, there are new ones that pop up all the time as well, which perhaps have not been officially named, and we have to do that. So we've got quite a big responsibility in how we do that and the processes that we go through.
Yeah.
So, at the moment, the website is doing really well. We have about 60,000 page views a month.
So that's amazing. But it must have taken you on an incredible adventure, just going and taking a look at all of these passes. And you mentioned 700, and is that what you've done? 750?
750.
750, and you said 150 still. So that's like 900 passes. Yeah. I didn't even know that there's that many.
Well, I didn't either. Otherwise, I perhaps wouldn't have done it.
Listen, let's quickly focus on one of our first ones, the Sani Pass in KZN. Not for the faint-hearted, but it's absolutely breathtaking.
Right, okay. The Sani is the most popular page on the website. It's had something like 80,000 views already. And it's a massive pass. It's very long. It's about 28 kilometers. It climbs 1,330 meters. In altitude, and it summits at 2,876 meters.
Wow.
It's not the highest pass in South Africa, it's the second highest pass, but it's certainly the biggest of the major passes.
Yeah.
One of the things about Sani is that you have to have a 4x4 to drive it. And a lot of people say, well, what about all the taxis that come down from Lesotho? But those are actually imported 4x4 taxis. They are four-wheel drive vehicles.
Really?
The big news with Sani is that they're talking about tarring it. So there's been a hue and cry from various NGOs that they don't want it to be tarred because it's going to take away the adventurous character of Sani.
So, Tryvge, I'm going to stop you there. We're going to continue talking about that because I'm sure it's also very popular amongst adventure riders in the motorcycle industry. But yes, we would love to know your thoughts. What are some of your favorite passes in South Africa? 021-430-9881. We're going to be back with Tryvge just now.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Right now, we are continuing with our Into the Wild. Remember that number. Our lines are open, 021-430-9881. We're talking about South Africa's most beautiful passes. We have Tryvge Roberts with us in studio, founder of the online platform Mountain Passes South Africa. And right from the get-go, we have a caller on the line. Yes, Murray from Joburg. Good morning.
Morning, Ewan. My favorite pass is the Wilde Perde Pass between Springbok and Hondeklipbaai.
Okay, between Springbok and Hondeklipbaai.
What's the name of the
What is the name of the pass again there?
Wilde Perde Pass.
Wilde Perde Pass.
Yeah. Voldeperto Hoekpad. There's
That's
an
correct.
old Italian prison in there.
Wow, it sounds idyllic. It sounds idyllic.
It's absolutely amazing. It's as if you're in a completely different world. And the silence is palatable, and the animals in there, and nobody goes through there for some reason. I got through there by mistake. I took a wrong turn coming out of Kleinseer. And I found myself on this corrugated road on the 1400, that's in Bucky.
Wow.
And it was absolutely amazing. And I kept on thinking to myself, I wonder if anybody has ever seen this, or am I the only person that has found it?
Well,
But it was-
I'm going to ask Tryvge about it now. Maria, thank you very, very much. It seems that
welcome.
pass has spoken to you, which is amazing.
Yes,
Tryvge,
it does.
the Wildepaarde Hoekpas.
Yes, correct. It's in the it's on our website, by the way. It's in the Namakwa National Park. It's inside the park itself. It's not recommended to drive there in a normal car. You really
Like you said, 1400
you really should have at least a high clearance vehicle. But a 4x4 is better.
Yeah.
The last time we drove through there, the road was not in great condition. There were some serious washaways. And the ruins that she's talking about was where the convicts were housed, that were shipped up from Robben Island.
Yeah.
And they were brought inland from Honderklipbaai. And they actually built the convict station next to the river.
My word.
And they were the guys that built that road. So that
That's
was
amazing.
built by an engineer called Patrick Fletcher. Great pass and a great experience for anybody to go and
well,
try it
clearly by her response. The Tryvge Pass. Let's move on to the Western Cape. For a
out.
second.
Okay. The Tryvge, everybody knows the road through the Huguenot Tunnel.
Yes.
Wonderful. But if you've got a little bit of spare time and you're willing to drive the extra 11 kilometers,
Take the alternative
take the
route.
old road on the R101 and you'll be treated to fantastic mountain scenery. The original old tunnel, which was built in 1946, I think. Beautiful dressed stone walls on the tunnel. And unfortunately, a lot of trucks still use the old road, and they use that to avoid paying the toll fees. And so it can be slow going, and you might get stuck behind a truck, but it's a great pass to drive. You're almost guaranteed to see baboons on the pass. And when you get to the top of the pass, there's a big lay-by there, and you get a fantastic view out over the Paarl
It is
Valley
beautiful.
and the winelands and the Paarl Rock and so on.
I've done this pass personally many times, especially if I head out towards Worcester and I'm on my motorbike. It is absolutely beautiful. I recommend you take the alternative route and go check that one out as well. But we can unpack more of South Africa's beautiful passes with Tryvge in just a little bit. Remember, you can call us 021 430 9881.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso right here on SABC 3 into the wild. That's where we're heading for our last segment with Tryvge, the founder of the online platform Mountain Passes South Africa, and it's phenomenal, the passes that we've seen so far. So you can still call us 021 430 9881. Tryvge, I just want to move on because there's so many. You said there's 900
Absolutely.
passes in South Africa. It is phenomenal, but we can only highlight a couple of them. Van Reenen's Pass. Let's talk about
Okay, Van Reenen's Pass was named after Frans van Reenen, the farmer that owned most of the land, and he allowed the government to build the road across his farm. It is unfortunately statistically the most dangerous pass in South Africa, not because it's badly engineered, but it's incredibly steep and it's a very long pass. So what happens is the trucks, especially their brakes, start failing on this pass, and they get themselves into a lot of trouble, and they take a lot of people out with them. So, and the reason it's the most dangerous pass is because it carries the most traffic. But a fantastic pass, lots of bad weather, snow in winter,
but breathtaking,
strong
I'm
winds,
sure.
a beautiful
Breathtaking.
place. Yes.
I want to focus on also one of my favorites, the Bainskloof. The
Yes.
Bainskloof Pass.
Okay, the Bainskloof Pass dates to the mid-1800s, was built by Andrew Geddes Bain, who is Thomas Bain's father. And he's considered to be the father of South African geology. A self-taught man, came here from Scotland and had the privilege of having that beautiful old pass named after him. It's a slow pass, the road is narrow, it's lumpy, but it is tarred all the way. And again, it'll take you about an hour to drive the pass. It runs along the Witte River, beautiful whitewater rapids, fantastic rock formations. There's Dacre's Pulpit, Bell Rocks, fantastic places to see. a highly recommended
Yeah,
pass.
beautiful, beautiful pass. You don't go there just to drive through it. You go there to look and take in the scenery and experience. The Swartberg Pass.
Yeah.
Tryvge.
Well, that's probably my personal favorite. Built by Andrew Bain's son, Thomas Bain, probably his opus magnum. A wonderful piece of engineering.
Wow, look at that.
There are those dry packed stone walls, which are some of them up to 13 meters high, without cement.
Wow, okay.
Purely dry packed. And they're still standing there today, a long time later. And earlier last year, the Swartberg Pass was severely damaged in a flood, and it was closed for most of the year, but it was opened in December, so it's back on track again. A great piece of engineering work, and our favorite.
Oh, and your personal favorite as well. I'm going to squeeze in one more before we go. Gamkaskloof.
Gamkaskloof leads off the Swartberg Pass, so you have to drive at least half of the Swartberg Pass to get to the start, and then, and it's an out and back route. It heads west from the pass, and it's a 37-kilometer, fairly tough gravel road, also not really suitable for normal cars. You need to have a high clearance vehicle. And you go down this Elands Pass, which is probably the most photographed mountain pass in South Africa. Really spectacular. Not good for people that suffer from acrophobia. And down at the bottom is this beautiful oasis, which is paradoxically called Die Hel.
Wow.
And it's beautiful. It's a fantastic place. And a number of accommodation options that you can get there. You can hire a cottage, you can camp, beautiful, spend a few days there. Do not drive it in one day, at least 2 days.
Right.
And then you have to drive back out and then back down the Swartberg
Tryvge,
Pass.
thank you very, very much. I think you've just, made everyone watching want to travel and go and explore, because
Great
I always
stuff.
say that South Africa's got so much to explore. There's so much beauty. And you've been doing this for the past 5 years, uncovering those passes. So thank you very much for offering this. The website, just quickly, where people can go check out the full list of passes.
Okay, it's www.mountainpassessouthafrica.co.za.
Easy as that.
Simple.
And where we wrap our Into the Wild with beautiful, beautiful scenery. I mean, absolutely beautiful. Look at that. That could be me. That could be me.